everyone, it's Lisa with KG Tropicals, and I wanted to do a quick video today on what you could do to help your betta if you had a betta emergency. One of the reasons why I'm doing this video is because the last couple days have been extremely chaotic in my house, between my daughter hurting her knee and having to get an MRI and going to the orthopedic surgeon, and then my cat got sick. I was at the veterinarian, the emergency vet, and she scared me to death, so I don't have fingernails anymore. And also, I'm a hot mess, so I apologize. I don't think I brushed my hair today, but dry shampoo is definitely my best friend. And yeah.
Nice stench. You're really on a roll there, bud.
Oh my God.
What's that smell?
That smell, Bob, is our
So I'm going to show you a real quick way to set up a betta emergency room that's extremely affordable and something that you can get away with that will work. So I went to Petco and I got some supplies. I got 4 containers with lids. They're not very big, but you got to understand that these containers may not be very big, and they're not something that I recommend long term. This is a temporary situation, so keep that in mind as we go along with this video. I got the 4 containers, I got the air pumps, I got 2 air pumps because one is a 10 and one is a 20, and I just wanted to play around with it and see which one would be better. If they are too much flow, I have a trick up my sleeve so that I can control that. Used to do it all the time at the fish store. Also, I got some air stones and I had to get the hose. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 supplies. That's really all you need. And you can set up your very own betta emergency room. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the total cost was $72.42 because I had to take something off that really didn't matter. The reason why I went with the 4 different containers instead of getting like a 10-gallon and dividing it up with dividers is because I didn't want to contaminate the water for every fish. If one fish is just in there because he's being a jerk and the other one, let's say, has ick or is sick or has fin rot, I don't want them all to be exposed to each other and take a chance of them getting worse, you know? I mean, and they may all need to be on different medication. So it's better to go ahead and separate them, let them have their own little area, their own space, without having to be in the same water. It's better. When you go to the emergency room, you're in your own room. You are, at least you are now. In the old days, you didn't used to be in your own room. They just had that curtain that separated you. But nowadays, you have your own room when you go to the hospital. So that's why I was thinking this is probably better for the bettas as well. What do you do with an Oscar when an Oscar gets sick? I mean, it's so much easier to take an Oscar out of a 55-gallon or 125-gallon tank and put him in a 10 or a 20 so that he can get properly medicated, and it's easier to medicate a smaller tank. Is keeping an Oscar in a 10-gallon the right thing to do? No, but temporarily, just to get him better, it'll work. I've had to do it, it worked, and our Oscar got so much better. So yeah, sometimes you have to put your fish in smaller aquariums or whatever you use for your emergency room. So if you're a mom and you're running around and you have a baby and you want to do something, but you don't want your baby to run around all over the house or crawl around and get into stuff, what do? You put a baby in a playpen. Is the baby gonna get hurt? Are they gonna suffer? No. They're gonna sit in that playpen. They're gonna have fun and play with their toys, maybe watch TV, whatever. But babies are put into playpens and they're okay. Another example of an emergency situation is my cat. She came home from the vet. I didn't want to keep her super close with her kitten. He's not exactly a kitten anymore, but he's her kitten. And Reno can be a handful. So I put 2 cages together One so she can rest in and have her food and water, and the other one was her litter box. Again, this is temporary. I'm not going to keep her in it permanently, but while she's resting and healing and getting better, I put her in that. So just always keep in mind that even though it doesn't seem like it's a nice thing to do, it's actually the best thing to do. Give them their space, even if it's a small area temporarily. They'll have time to be less stressed in a good, clean environment, and they'll get better quicker. So just know you're not doing anything wrong as long as you're putting them back where they belong in the long run. Don't keep them in the containers. I really don't like these containers when it comes down to buying them for that goldfish you want at the fair, or you want to set up your first aquarium. They're not meant to be permanent solutions. Like I said, this is temporary, so here goes, or whatever. I cleaned off the area on this rack right here, and I went ahead and I set up my 4 containers for my Betta emergency room. The really cool thing about this situation is that all I need is one outlet for my air pump. It's awesome. I set these 4 containers up on this rack, and pretty much all you have to do is plug everything into each other, cut some of the cords so that they're long enough and they're all the right size and it looks nice and neat. But once you plug everything up, all you really have to do is add water. What I went ahead and did, just to help make sure the water has the beneficial bacteria, I took some of the substrate out of one of my existing tanks and I stuck a little bit in each container. So another thing I did was I cut a piece of paper in half just because I want to put something up in between these so they're not looking right at each other. Just a little like, sort of like a curtain in between the ER room. But anyways, we already keep the garage at 78, 79, so it stays really warm in here. I didn't feel like it was necessary to try to heat these individually because they're plastic and I didn't want to, chance doing anything dangerous. So like I said, we already keep the garage at 78, sometimes it goes up to 79, and I really feel like this is an okay situation for them. The temperature is not a problem here. I'm finished with my Betta emergency room tanks. I am extremely happy with how they turned out. I would definitely suggest doing something like this if you're trying to do something quick, simple, and efficient. You won't have to spend a lot of money, and you'll always have that feeling inside like, you know what, I have a backup plan for my Betta. I can quarantine them if I need to before I put them in a Betta sorority. Whatever the case may be, these little containers that I got for $6.99 are going to save lives. And that's important. You wanna have something that's gonna work, and I feel very confident in this. I feel extremely confident that these are going to work out well. So I'm gonna zoom in, I'm gonna show you how to work it. The really cool thing is these valves are adjustable. You can have a higher rate of flow or you can have a slower rate, which I would recommend for a Betta because Bettas don't like really fast current and they don't want to have a bunch of bubbles going all over the place, especially when they feel bad. So let me go ahead and show you what we're working with now. Super simple. All you do is you turn them left or right, and if you look inside of here, you'll notice that it's either going to have a really, really, really fast flow, which you don't want, or a much slower one. And that's what you want. Something that's just moving a little bit. Get a little bit of movement in there and your Betta will be happy, things will be moving along, and that's all you need. You do not want the fast one. I will be adjusting that. I hope you liked this video and you were able to get something out of it. I wanted to share my experience with you and something that works for me. And hopefully it will work for you too. Thanks for watching, and I hope you got something out of this and it can help you avoid a catastrophe in your fish room. And hopefully you can know exactly what to do if you need to set up a Betta emergency room. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.